where's the sweet spot between social, local and ethical? So we had lots of conversations around that. And we thought what we really want to do in actual fact is have 10% more of some things, but actually we want to have 10% less of other things. And the combined effort is that we'll make Salford at least 10% better. So on your chairs you've got a copy of the pledge and a copy of a leaflet which has got these 11 metrics that Paul referred to before. But the first thing I wanted to say to you is this is a campaign. This is not about sitting in a darkened room or even a lit room. It's about trying to create a mass social movement so that 10% better becomes a way of doing business, of operating, of working together, of making a difference in Salford. You can see the hashtag here, 10PC Better Salford. We did put the percentage sign in first, but then we realised on Twitter it led to something rather unsavoury. So if you are tweeting, if you do hashtag 10, a little p, a little c, Better Salford. So you can check with us because we have got at Salford SB is the Salford Social Value Alliance Twitter account. Salford Social Value, if you do an internet search, you'll come up with our website. So a mass campaign, and to have a mass campaign, what do you need? People. And that's why you're here. So really, when we're asking you what you're going to do when you go away from here, is obviously we're going to ask you to go away and get at least 10 more people involved in this campaign. So Salford's a collaborative city. Now that was one of the things, what kind of city are we? Collaborative city. We love partnership in Salford, I think that's fair to say. Anyone who ever visits Salford, they say, oh, you know, you all talk about partnership, and then when they go away and again, they say there might be loads of things wrong with us, yeah, but actual fact, we do really like working in partnership, and we're good at working in partnership. So if we're good at it, let's maximise it. The opportunities this can bring us are much better than the opportunities we'll have individually. And really interestingly, when people were, obviously Anne had cued people to follow each other on this talking, but you can see the synchronicity, can't you? You can see if we create an ecosystem where we all work together, then it becomes good business for everyone, for every one of us. And good business is really important, isn't it? Because, well, we'll talk about inequality in a minute. So it's a campaign for all, it's a campaign for private businesses, it's a campaign for public bodies, it's a campaign for social enterprises and charities, and just in case you thought I wasn't mentioning you, housing, education, arts and culture, because it's not about legal structures, it's about what we do and what difference we make. Community groups, but interestingly, one of the things that we really aspire to is to get local people involved. So actually local people can pledge to do something. We can all make a tiny bit of difference, and that is something that we're really driven by. You know, and I think Claire was talking about it. If you go on the Living Wage Foundation's website today, you can see the impact, the business benefits of being a living wage employer, for instance. And we know there'll be lots and lots and lots of case studies that show actually by taking a social value approach to business, it's good for that individual business, as well as the workforce, as well as the wider community, as well as the supply chain. So we've got a vision that takes us to 2021. So we're ambitious. And beyond, of course, because 10% better, as Paul said, is only the start. You know, we know, for instance, in life expectancy, we've got a gap, haven't we? So does anyone know what the big gap is in certain areas? 10 years, yeah, so Chris is putting his hand at 10 years in different parts of the city. Is that right? But we don't want to just generate an extra year of living for everyone, do we, who's currently? Who wants another year of living miserably? This campaign is about making a substantial difference to individual people. If we do that, it'll make a difference to everyone's business, whatever they do. So that's the why. We want to make Salford a better place to live, a better place to work, and a better place to do business. And the because, of course, is Salford's unfair, it's unequal. We just heard about the 10-year disparity. We know that growth in this city isn't benefiting everyone. We know that we've still got poverty and ill health in our city. And we know we aren't harnessing all of our talents and resources. And that's a shame, isn't it? We really need to harness all of our talents and resources in Salford. So, this 10% improvement is across 11 social, environmental and economic outcomes. And the purpose, of course, is to benefit local people. So I'm going to whiz through these. These are on your chair. So our aim by 2021. Now, 4,690 more people volunteering in Salford. It's an odd number. Where do you think it's come from?
5,000 less that.
That's a really good answer, yeah, but it isn't the right one. Where do you think 4,000? Pardon? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So currently, from our State of the Sector research, which we undertook this year, there are 46,900 people volunteering in Salford. So let's try and get 10% more. At least 25 more. I put at least because actually, it's not a big aim, is it, 25? But we do really need, I don't like the word need, but we're looking to how can we help young people, aged 16 to 17 in particular, in terms of going into employment, education and training every year. It's an inherent challenge for us, and if we were talking about the living wage, which I can't help but do, then I think the question around apprenticeships is a challenging one for businesses, but it's the right question in terms of how do we make sure that we have more apprentices and that they're paying them a decent wage, and that's part of the conversation. 19,000 Salford adults saying they feel more satisfied with their life than they did last year. Now, how are we going to measure that? Anyone got any ideas? Because we need a few. Ask them, exactly. Ask them. We're going to ask people, how do you feel? Have any of these other things made a difference to you? 42 kilograms, I mean I'm still in pounds, but anyway, less waste generated by each Salford household every year. Think of an individual pledge. Everyone can pledge against that. Everyone. Doesn't matter what you do. 3,450 tonnes more Salford waste recycled. Why is that good? Why would that be good? Pardon?
Takes it out of landfill.
Takes it out of landfill, good for the environment. Any other reason? It saves money, doesn't it, Jim? It saves money that we can spend on better things. Absolutely. So if we all take personal responsibility, both in our workplaces and in our homes, to just trying to generate a little bit less waste and recycle a bit more, we can do really good, feel good, and actually save money so that money can be spent elsewhere. And 2,280 more people out of their cars and instead using green methods of transport to work. Who came in a car today? Who cycled? Make your way, yeah. Well done. Yeah. Who walked? Anyone hop?
Train.
Jump? Train, yeah, okay, train. Interestingly, I think I'm going to tell you an anecdote, Anne. Anne was at a KPMG living wage event this morning, and Andy Burnham was running late, and when he got there he said, who's responsible for congestion? Because it's a huge issue, isn't it? So actually...
He just sat in a traffic jam for an hour and he was late.
Exactly. But we're all responsible for congestion, really, aren't we? Employers, think about how you could stagger your workforce. Car sharing, yeah? Thinking about where we work in relation to where we live and we do other things. It's an inherent challenge. But actually, again, lots of people can contribute to that. 6,300 fewer inactive people in Salford. I could say jump up and down now because it's quite chilly in here, but if you want. So one of the big things in Salford is obviously we need people to become more active, and there's lots of ways of becoming active. Recently, the CCG and the council, I think, led on a workforce walking challenge. We participated, some of us from Salford CVS, some of us didn't. And some of us walked 2 miles on crutches. But again, that is, you can make it fun, we can all get involved to try and collectively make our workplaces and our people more physically active. The living wage we could talk to today, I put at least in front of that, because that 10% is 1,570, but it's not a very ambitious target, is it? So that's our at least target. And 780 more people from vulnerable groups in Salford accessing new jobs, apprenticeships, training and work experience placements. I think the context to this is it's not that we don't welcome growth, we want the right growth, and we want growth that enables local people to get jobs and to get decent paid jobs and to make sure there's a future for young people. And I suppose the last one there is 1,130 fewer Salford households living in fuel poverty. You know, the choice of whether you sit in a cold house or you eat something, it's not a choice really, is it? What kind of a choice is that for local people? We've seen with the Tackling Poverty strategy that the City Mayor's published that we have got some fundamental work to do in relation to tackling poverty in Salford. But one of the ways we can do it is by aggregating all of our little contributions. And if we all do this, local companies looking at local supply chains, which is a big thing that we want to focus on, we can increase the gross value added per head for Salford people by 2,353 quid. And if you don't know what that means, it just means we've got a better economy that benefits more people. So it's a lofty ambition. Hopefully by the fact that you're giving up your Friday afternoon means that you want to do it. So this is in other words, this is a plan, a campaign for people, for planet, and Salford's part of the planet, isn't it? Yeah. And for local prosperity. It's not that we don't want anyone else to have prosperity, but we want prosperity here for our people. So we're asking you to pledge. This is what you can do. So we're asking you to pledge to make Salford 10% better. So we really want to look at social value and supply chains, so we welcome conversations. We really want to look at training and workforce development, for instance, and we want to look at young people. What are the opportunities for young people? Young people are our future. And there's a synchronicity in all this. So, one of the things about this is it's a campaign to try and create a better and fairer Salford.